Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you were here. A couple housekeeping things. Sorry, you guys, I had been busy traveling these past few weeks, so I'm getting caught up on things. So we're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled program. We've got a lot of Love and Marriage Huntsville stuff that I've got to catch up on. So in this particular video, we are going to be talking about this Essence article that dropped yesterday, you guys, and it says the following. It says this is in the home and lifestyle section. It says, "Mama's at work. Love and Marriage Huntsville star Melody Cherie left her marriage for her kids. I didn't want my children to feel like this was what love was supposed to look like," the reality star, entrepreneur, and mom of four says. So this was written by Victoria Umurarjuri. Sorry if I am butchering your name. And this was, like I said, yesterday. And it says the following. It says, Mel says, "I am feeling amazing." Mel said, the entrepreneur, real estate guru, singer, and reality TV personality, known for 7 seasons. Here we go again, you guys. How many seasons is the show? It's 8 seasons. It's 9 seasons. It's whatever, you guys. But this Essence article is saying 7 seasons of Owen's hit series, Love and Marriage Huntsville. All smiles as we chat. She just finished an Instagram live selling her 7th Avenue beauty products and had been packing products to ship to customers. She's got lunch planned shortly and is dressed up for the occasion. That hangout and her pack scheduled is one of the reasons Cherie, a busy working mom of 4, feels as great as she does. It's a simple way for her to carve out time for herself in the midst of her many responsibilities. One of the things I say often to women, mothers, wives is to be okay with putting yourself first, she says. Be okay doing that because we will literally sacrifice so many things for everyone else. Other people can call us at the drop of a dime and we'll show up for you. Because I live that daily, I can truly say I'm doing amazing. A few years ago, if you had asked Cherie how she was doing, her outlook may have not been as sunny. Sorry. For those who follow Love and Marriage Huntsville, you know that in 2020, she filed for divorce from Martel Holt, her co-star, following his infidelity after 14 years of marriage. And though they've been divorced for some time, things have been contentious as Holt was convicted of domestic violence in the spring for sending threatening communications to Cherie. But through therapy, not just for herself, but also their children and the help of a dedicated tribe, she's been able to move forward in a positive space. Yes. I have an amazing support system, she says. I have literally positioned myself in a way where I can say that everyone I have around me and my inner circle at this stage in my life are all solid. And with the right team, the right drive, and keeping her own needs front and center, you can't stop Melody Cherie. We talked to the Alabama native about having the courage to leave her marriage, why it was important to have her children go through therapy after making that decision, and what being a mother has taught her about herself. So Essence asks, how do you get it all done? Because being an entrepreneur, being on television, doing music, it's no small feat. As you mentioned, you put yourself first, but who do you lean on to make that possible? Mel says there are 2 parts to that. The first thing I will say is I have an amazing team and that it's so important to have solid people in your life who show up for you when you need them to show up, who will pour into you the same way you pour into others and will help you refill your cup after you filled up others. So I have amazing team, family, close friends who do that regularly for me. And then the other part to that is I do a lot myself as well. Every second of the day counts. Every second matters. I have been in situations in the past where I was like, man, if I had just got up an hour earlier, I could have gotten this other task done, and I didn't like that feeling. So now what I do is I make sure I get up and I start it early, and I do a lot of multitasking, which allows me to do all the stuff I need to do. How have the opportunities that have opened up for you been a blessing as you've stepped out on your own following your divorce? I think that a lot of people have said divorce is like death. And if you think of divorce being like death, then you have to look for when life is going to come from, or where life is going to come from, And so for me, the life that was breathed into me as I was going through that situation, of course, first came from God, knowing that He was with me every step of the way, maintaining my faith and not being fearful. So many times we are fearful of being alone, and I tell people all the time, alone doesn't equal lonely. So I was not fearful of being alone because I knew God was with me every step of the way. I've also
also been blessed to be able to utilize my gifts to help me through my healing process. So by way of music, I've been able to share and express my emotions and tell my stories, so to speak. And then because I'm on television, I've been having these amazing supportive fan base who supports everything I do and who stands in the gap too when it comes to prayer. I have an amazing mother who is constantly praying over me, who's constantly reminding me, even through that divorce, who I am and whose I am. So I've been able to find again those pieces that bring life as I am going through a death. I heard you say in an interview that therapy has been essential for you and your children. Why was it so important for you to provide your kids with professional support? I think sometimes when we're going through stuff, we fail to look at others around us who it affects as well. It would be naive to think that as I'm experiencing hurt and I'm experiencing betrayal and I'm experiencing the pain of a divorce, that my children are not experiencing that as well. So I knew that they might not show it as I do, but still this also is a life-changing for them. I didn't want when my children get older to look back and say they've got all these issues. I can't turn back the hands of time. So I didn't want to be looking back saying, what else could I have done? And so I knew that by way of putting them in therapy, I am using all that I know to use and doing all that I know that I can do. I've been blessed to have the resources to be able to do this. Let them have them in therapy. Let me have them in therapy. So I'm not creating traumatized adults. I love that you had a unique situation and going through your experience on television. You have therapy, but you're also a woman of faith. How have those things really fortified you and allowed you to move forward free? I love the fact that you use the word free because that's what it was for me. It was freeing. Television was a public outlet and a way for me to share with the world what I was going through, the highs and the lows, which ultimately ended up leading to a divorce. But being able to be free in that, you see so many times people are holding on to stuff and it's just sitting within and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing and it's building. And then you wonder why they all of a sudden have this breakdown. And so for me, the freeing part was being able to I can't talk today, you guys. Selfishly live out loud what I was going through, not caring what anyone thought about it, not caring who felt, oh, you shouldn't share your business because, of course, you have those individuals too. But I just lived my truth out loud and put it out there for the world to see. And that was freeing for me. I mentioned that I'm about to go out with one of my friends and I have a lunch and I have a massage scheduled later for today. So I will be getting a massage. They were asking, what do you do? How do you pour into yourself, right? So she's got her massage. She's about to go out with her friends. And then she said she gets her massages here in her home. She loves to travel. So I love to travel. That's another place of peace for me too. When I get to travel and go just see other places and experience other cultures. I love being near the water and just finding those different things that bring peace to me, which only pertain to me because sometimes we do things, but it affects everyone. But you got to find those things that you do that are just for you. So when I'm getting a massage, it's not affecting anyone else but me. So guess what? That's a self-love thing right there. So yeah, I'm always making sure that I'm pouring into myself, that I'm giving back to myself, that I work super hard. So I know the importance of also taking care of me, that I can continue to walk in my purpose. What has motherhood and the things that you've overcome taught you about yourself? Motherhood has taught me that I can love someone more than I love myself. And also that there are a lot of things that I sacrifice, a lot of things that I do because of my children, because of my love for my children. To be honest with you, even getting a divorce, let's keep it a buck. I have 3 girls and 1 son. It matters for the son too, of course, but having girls, your daughters are watching you. They're paying attention. I didn't want my children to feel like this was what love was supposed to look like. I didn't want them to think, oh, this is what marriage is supposed to look like. So instead, what they got is, wow, my mother has shown me what strength looks like. My mother has shown me how she walked away from my dad with 4 children and started over, and look where she is now. So as they mature, as they get older, they choose to get married, they're going to know, hey, if love is not shown the way it should be in a normal, healthy way, I don't have to stay there. I love that. And lastly, what advice would you share for women who may have children and may not be in the healthiest situations, but feel like they need to stay there? Your children are smarter than you think you are, and they feel more than you think they feel. They feel the tension, they hear the arguments, they see the tears roll down your face. Do they deserve that? That's for you to decide. Do they deserve to think that this is what normalcy is? Do they deserve to think that, oh, this is what love is? We have to put ourselves in place, like I said, where we're not raising children who we become traumatized adults. And there you have it, you guys. So nonetheless, I feel like this debunks a lot of things because for some reason people are under the assumption, I've heard it from Dr. Heavenly, I've heard it from even Carlos King and other people who seem to try to imply or infer that Mel would stay married to Martell if the show never existed. And my thing is, Mel would have left for good sooner. Because remember, Carlos King had revealed that Mel didn't want to do the show because that was when she had found out Martell was cheating. And she had wanted to put off the show because she wanted to try to work out her marriage first. And Carlos King was like, no. Let's put it on blast. Let's make matters worse, right? Let's completely just blow everything up, right? And it'll be your truth, right? Although I'm sure Mel, looking back on it now, didn't realize, the earthquake that was about to happen, the bombs that were about to go off, and the unthinkable series of events of how far an ex-husband that was upset that you left for good was going to take things into his own hands for revenge. Pun intended, you guys. Make it make sense. And here's the thing, too. Phonics Unhooked bragging on her live that she was telling Mel to stay with Martell and, that nobody's going to want her as a single mom of 4 and all these things. And it's all about having a man, which is just like pick-me-ish behavior. But not once in these conversations that people are like, oh, why is Mel still talking about Martell and blah, 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 blah. Well, number one, the cast is still talking about Martell. And 2, most importantly, why she left, her kids are seeing all of this. Her kids are old enough, you know what I'm saying, to, have classmates, to have people, if they're not themselves on social media, that understand that their parents are on a reality TV show, that understand, the ups and downs, in and outside of when they were filming the show, of what they had to deal with and what they still are dealing with. Which is why I always went in, on Robin from Married to Married to Medicine's on my mind because I was just talking about Dr. Heavenly. But from Real Housewives of Potomac, where the dysfunction of her and Juan was so aggravating to watch on my screen because it was like, your kids see all of this, right? You got a divorce the first time because of the cheating, right? And then I felt like in comparison to her, she felt guilty because whatever scam she had believed in that lost all of Juan's NBA money, she felt obligated to still, I guess is her way of quote unquote paying him back, to still stick around, right? To still stick around and put up with whatever one was or wasn't doing with whomever, right? With whether it was the alleged, female basketball coach at the laundromat, at the nail salon, and all these places, or any other alleged rumor, side piece or mistress or what have you. And it was just very frustrating. Because I always had pointed to the hot mic moment on season 2 where Juan was telling a producer, hey, I'm only here because of the kids. And I want somebody that I can, feel like I belong to and that I can grow old with and all of these things. And remember, he even stopped going to the reunions, you guys. Stop going to the reunions altogether as if, he didn't need to be there. And it wasn't like he had a job to go to because he got fired for knowing about SA going on at the school and trying to cover it up and thought none of this was going to be blowback on him, you guys. And they said, thanks but no thanks. Not only do you suck as a coach, but also you suck from a personnel standpoint. So we're just going to wash our hands of you altogether once this investigation / lawsuit, and all of these things that are coming up because of you guys. But I say all of that to say that this notion that Dr. Heavenly, Carlos King, all these people have, it's because of reality TV, that, if it wasn't for that, she'd still would be with him. No. And I give that direct example of Robin and Juan from Real Housewives of Potomac, of how we see the dysfunction in real time. And she decides, hey, we're going to get back together. We're going to continue to make this work, no matter how many cheating rumors there are, no matter if there's a side chick in Canada, no matter if there's somebody being flued out to Baltimore and Juan has to pay for the hotel room. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to get engaged to him. I'm going to get married off camera, so you can't film it for the show, and get myself fired. That should have been fired several seasons ago, right? I feel like reality TV in some aspects extends a lot of these marriages, and people have made pacts to try to stay married for, quote unquote, the sake of the show and the check. Mel did the, reverse Uno and said, we're not going to stick around. And Mel didn't do this because of her fans. She did this because of her kids. Her kids are the ones that she sees 24/7, not the fans. The kids are the ones that are living this, right? The kids, no matter how much you guys want to slice and dice it, a lot of you mimic what you see when you were raised, whether it's by a parent, a guardian, grandparent, whomever. You mimic characteristics that you see growing up, whether you want to or not. Now, ideally, if it's bad habits, you want to avoid those bad habits that you've seen growing up from your parents and other relatives. But sometimes you unfortunately fall into the same bad habits, whether it's genetics, whether it's, whatever. But ultimately, when people see their parents and how their parents interact, if it's arguing all the time, if it's fighting all the time, if it's all these things, a lot of times, unfortunately, people as adults can end up getting in those same type of toxic relationships and think, oh, because my parents, they still stayed married, maybe this is what marriage is supposed to look like. No. And Mel, that's why it's so important. Mel said, I'm not going to stick around for this, right? I'm not going to stick around for this and be embarrassed. And it's even 100 times worse because it's playing out on national television, right? It's playing out in front of everyone. This was when people were tuning into Love and Marriage Huntsville. This wasn't the dog days that it is now, where barely 170,000 people are tuning in. Oh, no. This was when the show was getting 500,000 viewers and close to 1 million viewers. And I believe they had 1 million view episode for real. Not linear or L3 ratings, but a real episode that had 1 million viewers that I believe was the episode that was dominated by Mel and Tel. So this was people very much interested and invested in what the Mel and Tel story was. So much so that the rest of the cast decided not to tell their lives anymore, right? And not, wanted to expose anything and just decided, hey, we're just going to hide behind Martel. And whatever he's got going on, we're just going to support him so he doesn't expose us, right? But fast forward to now, where Mel said, listen, I'm not going to be the person used anymore for you guys to have a storyline. You guys are going to have to try something else, which is why now we are stuck with this whole Trisha, Kenny, Martell, nonsense. This is why we're stuck with the Sunny Moses Destiny nonsense and all of the things, right? And Marquez now, right? Because everyone else doesn't want to tell their truths, right? Stormy, who people argue is the most successful on the show, is nowhere to be found. You guys, is nowhere to be found. Imagine breaking all these records on TikTok and you're nowhere to be found on the show, you guys. Nowhere to be found but an instigator. Make it make sense. But nonetheless, this article, I wish this is what they showed on the show. I wish we saw more of Mel as the entrepreneur that is, showing how she is trying to do a work-life balance, how she is trying to manage all these businesses and raise the kids and all of the things. And Martell stupidly said the kids could no longer film the show, which also would mean he couldn't film the show with the kids as well. And nonetheless is why he's limited to no episodes this season. But, I really wish we saw that. We only see Mel when it's involving drama. Do you guys notice that? Before, it was the drama with her and her ex, Martell, that was dragged out, you guys. Now, we have shifted gears to where, Mel's drama is involving, the friendships or lack thereof with the other people in the cast. But there's no in between. There's no, because there's good in everybody, you guys. But they don't want to show that on this reality show. They only seem to think that there is only one thing to show, which is mess. There is no common ground, not even on what is supposed to be a vacation, you guys. And nonetheless, it is a Dollar Tree version of what Carlos King was doing at Bravo. And he's desperately trying so hard to replicate storylines from Bravo, and it's cringe because you're dealing with people who don't care about any of that stuff. But Carlos cares, but it's not translating to the people, which is why nobody's watching. And so one of many reasons people aren't watching. But nonetheless, I was happy for this article. I was happy for this article, and it's just ironic because, it's interesting even too, because in this article, the show per se not really is being discussed either. Before, when Mel would do these interviews, she would talk about, hey, here's what's upcoming on the show, or this and that, or we've got like a major girls trip these next couple of episodes, and all of the things. None of that is in this article, you guys. None of it is in this article. It is all about her. It is all about Mel, the entrepreneur. It is all about Mel, the mom. It is all about Mel and her support system, you guys. And it's just hilarious to me that, of everyone else that is doing interviews for the show, that it's complaining about the show, that's complaining about fans and all these things, Mel's doing the complete opposite. She's not, throwing shade at people in these interviews. She's not dragging people in these interviews. It's all about herself. It's all about her kids. I just wish other people would take notes, you guys. I wish people would take notes and see it for what it is. But they're too busy. They have to, insert Mel into the tomfoolery, or nobody's going to pay attention to them, right? So that is why they do what they do. But nonetheless, there is that. So let me know your guys' thoughts about this. What do you guys think of this article? This Essence article that nobody else is in right now, right? Everyone else is up to their arms and everything, about this girls trip, you guys. And who's fake and who's real and who's messy and who isn't. Well, everyone's messy. You decided to be on a reality show, right? It just seems that people have a different hierarchy of what they want to define as mess, right? And too far. So that's why there's all this discourse. But nonetheless, there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.